Hi, welcome teachers of journalism and welcome students. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the series. We're going to be exploring what high school journalism is really about. I'm Mary Heveron-Smith. I have been a teacher of journalism for 15 of my 20 years here in the Webster Central School District. I'm planning to just share some practical advice and resources for teaching journalism and for advising school newspapers. First, just a little bit of background about me. I guess you could say that newspapers and journalism were really my first love. My undergrad major was in journalism, in newspaper journalism, from the Newhouse School at SU. And I started out my career as a copy editor. And during that time of my career, I helped get stories ready for publication. When I later became a reporter and then even later went into public relations and college publications, I really discovered the joy of the interview. And the interview is sort of a cornerstone of all journalism. And it's really where you discover the stories of other people, the people around you. So that's one of the things that makes journalism really cool and fun. Another thing that makes journalism a lot of fun for students is that you have usually a significant amount of freedom in choosing the subject matter. Your teacher generally will have some full class assignments, but you often have a lot of freedom even in how you approach those assignments. And you should get some freedom in actually choosing your topics as well. So think about this. If you are trying to picture what journalism is like, imagine being able to interview your principal about what life is like outside of school, from his early morning run to nighttime where he's fixing dinner for his family. Imagine interviewing that young man who had a bout with cancer and now he's back on the football field. Imagine interviewing students about their real feelings about those Chromebooks. And imagine inviting a student with hearing problems to tell her story in a first-person essay. All of these are stories that we've actually run recently in our school newspaper. 2 of them grew out of the journalism class, and 1 just won a national award. So your creativity will be a big part of this. You want to be brainstorming what is it that you're passionate about and could write about, or that you're curious about. How do you know what makes a good story? So one of my favorite resources is right here. This is it's a book called Radical Right. It's written by a man named Bobby Hawthorne, who is an expert in the field of scholastic journalism. And Bobby just appeared at the Empire State Scholastic Press Association at SU just this past fall. He's a great guy and signed these books for a lot of students. Now, my favorite page in the book is page 7, because what Bobby reminds us is that there are elements of news. If you're thinking about writing about something that doesn't quite resonate maybe with your teacher, it may be that it doesn't have any element of news. So he reminds us that a news story or news feature should be timely and current. It's going on around now. That it should have proximity. That it should be happening close to us, maybe right in our school or in our community. Consequence, he mentions, and consequence would mean that it matters. Maybe it's not happening close by, but something is happening that matters to you. Prominence, well, maybe there haven't been any, look at the topic of school shootings. Certainly they're prominent in the news. So happily, those things aren't happening right in Webster, but they are prominent enough that we should be writing about them, and we are. Oddity, so maybe something's a little bit unusual, different. And conflict, that makes all of literature stand out and makes it exciting anytime there's conflict. So, and human interest. Maybe there's just that one story that you'd like to cover because it's different and it's something that isn't necessarily timely, but you know that people would find it interesting. So we have lots and lots of human interest stories. So one of the things that you want to be thinking about is that everyone has a story to tell, and that includes you. So be thinking about the stories that you would like to tell, and we'll talk next about various resources to find out more about how to learn about journalism and put your story together. Thank you.